Hey folks, well I'm back at the bench after a bit of a hiatus. I'm going to work on the quadcopter tonight. I got parts in from Hobby King, the more bullet connectors, these standoffs, a bunch of other odds and ends. And what I'm going to try to do tonight is mount the electronics up, both the power distribution board and the KK 2.0. That's what I got these for. You don't necessarily want this board to be mounted solid because the vibration coming through the arms can cause it problems. So that's why I figured I'd give these posts a try. They're a 3mm nylon post. I figured since they were plastic that they would help pull the vibration out a little bit. The only thing I'm worried about is in a crash they might snap off, but well, we'll see. It's not like I plan on crashing, so it's not going to be a problem, right? Yeah, right. So I've already got this marked out, just to kind of give me an idea of where the board's going to go, and then I also scribed marks for the holes. And what I'm going to do then is drill these out, so these posts will go in, and then these will kind of stack one on top of the other and hold things together, like so. But I've been wondering, the threaded part might be too short to put a nut on the back side. It's just barely going to bite, like that. So I think what I'll end up doing is probably drill these holes small and actually tap the aluminum so that these thread into the aluminum, and then if there's enough on the back side, I can always put a lock, well, not a lock nut, a regular nut on the back side as well. We'll see. It might hold up, it might not. So first things first, let's drill these holes out and get them tapped and go from there. Alright, I got the holes drilled and I'm just running the tap in. I think it's going to work okay. I've got one hole tapped, so I'm just doing the other three now. I'm real concerned about these snapping off, but we'll see. Maybe I can build some sort of some sort of protection around the unit, like even just take a Tupperware container that fits over top and fastens down. That way if something happens, everything inside is protected. So I have to figure out the receiver mount yet on here. But there'll be more than enough room for that. Got all this space here. I may actually hog out some of this in order to lighten it up a bit. Shouldn't lose too much strength. I'll just maybe use a hole saw and drill it out each spot. Give her some weight reduction. Because I've got something else I need to add in. I cut my oak strips to go inside this channel in order to strengthen it up a bit. So I got it so it'll fit quite tight. I don't know if I'll even have to glue them in. I might just fit in friction fit, or whatever you want to call it. Can't remember what they call it when it's a tight fit. But there, last one. Hope I got these holes set right so that things line up. There's not a whole lot of room for error, but with the I guess the power distribution board, the holes are a little bigger, but on the KK 2.0 they're kind of small. Looking at it now, I wish I would have got some nylon screws as well, but I'll make another order to Hobby King. So I want to get a spare motor, because one of the sets screw stripped in this, so I can't get this one off right now. It didn't strip, it actually broke. It cracked, so it can't get the hex head to hold into the head to turn it out. So I even broke the drill bit off trying to drill it so I could easy out it, hence the band-aid, stab myself. But Oh well, that was last night. Oh, last hole. Pretty sure I won't be putting a nut on the back side of these. I got a feeling they'll be a tad off center. Yeah, see, this one's almost touching the side. The other three are okay, but we'd be able to get a nut on there anyway, and whatever, it's not critical. So now, thread these in. Oh yeah, that goes in nice. Probably put some blue Loctite on just to help glue them in afterwards during final assembly. But for now, this is alright. I think I'll order a bunch more of these too. They're handy little units. That's the nice thing about Hobby King is they've got all these little bits and pieces cheap. The only problem is the shipping kills you as far as weight goes, but little items like this, I'll be able to keep it under the threshold. I don't know what the thresholds are, but every time I've ordered it, the 2 times I've ordered, it's cost me $20 for the shipping. Alright, so that goes on there. Yeah, it looks like it's going to be alright. Now, I think I'll use the, I don't know if I'll need to use the taller taller posts or the shorter ones. I'll put 2 in, like this. That'll hold the distribution board in place. I also think I'm going to relocate these power wires to down below. Or if I flip this board over, maybe. Let me try something here. The thing I'd be worried about is these binding posts. They're going to be too close. This has the foam on it too. If I flip this over, I think I'm going to relocate these to the back side. I don't know. Kind of do that. Flip it back over. Oh, I got plenty of room, plenty of clearance for the power lead. But one thing I realized, in my previous video I was measuring these leads based on this being clocked 45 degrees, but the KK 2.0 has to be in this plane, so I kind of screwed that up. So hopefully my leads will still reach. I have enough wire if I have to extend them, but just more work then. This looks like it's going to work good. It'll be nice and low profile too. Come on. Last one. Is it going to line up with the threads? Yeah, see, I made the mistake and tightened all these and I shouldn't have. One of them's a little bit out, but I think I can make it work. Might have to open that hole up just a little bit with my file because I don't want side pressure on these things. So I'll open these up and a little bit, get it mounted and show you the final result. Well, I got it all mounted up. A little worried about the vibration, but I threw an O-ring under each bolt to see if that would help any. Maybe I need to get more O-rings. I got some from a kit from Princess Auto, but I used up a bunch of those O-rings, so, and they're kind of stiff too. It'd be nice to put a couple under there. So she's a little bit solid, but I guess we'll see when I get to that point. But otherwise, it's not too shabby. I need to do something about this power wire. And probably what I'll do is I'll pop a hole. Let me show you. Pop a hole in the bottom here so that the power can come through both plates and down to the battery tray instead of working around and so on. So now I'm just curious to see how these power wires are going to work out. should be okay, but if I sit, I might as well use this side with the motor on it, just to see. They're all going to be the same, oriented the same, so all the lengths will be the same, so it should work out okay. Plug that bad boys in like that. Uh-oh. How is that for luck? I'm going to call it luck. I'd like to say I meant to do it, have it that tight, but it comes out right to there. So speed controllers will mount right on the edge here. Hopefully they'll get enough prop wash to stay cool. And then the speed controller wires, they'll go like so. And obviously not necessarily these particular channels, but a couple of these need to swap so that doesn't muck me up for length, but it might. It'll be close, but just means I won't have a bunch of wire that I have, extra wire that I have to tie up. So these will run along there. I can tie wrap them on quite nice and be nice, neat and tidy. Well, I got the oak strips pressed in. They went in pretty stiff, so I think it'll work out okay, but I really can't test it properly until I bolt the bottom plate back on. So since these holes and everything are all threaded, I can go ahead and slap this back on, and then we'll give it a little twist and see if it made a difference or not. See if it was a waste of time or if it's going to work. Moment of truth. I don't know if you remember from the previous videos how much it flexed, but it flexes at the end, but I can feel the wood moving in there a little bit, but that is a lot better. So I think I will probably go ahead and glue that in, but still I'm happy with it. That made a substantial difference. So now I don't know what else I can do here. I'm gonna have to think about the landing gear and that, but I think I'm gonna mount all the motors up, do a rough wiring job, and that way I can take a picture to post online for all my friends not to see. So I will wire this up, give you a final shot, and that'll be it for the evening. I'll be right back. Well, there you go, folks. Done a rough a mock-up here, and I can see that I am indeed going to have to extend some of these wires because they're pulling kind of hard just because of the way these connectors are oriented. No biggie though. I'd rather have to extend these than to extend the motor wires. So what I'll do is, before I do that, I will tie wrap everything on here good. Yeah, like so. Get it kind of tie wrapped where it's going to sit, and then I know exactly which wires need to be replaced. I can replace them while they are on the copter. But no biggie. I'm happy. It's turning out good so far. I hope it flies as good as it's turning out. Just because it looks good doesn't mean squat. Oh, and the other thing I did, it's kind of rough right now, but I blew a hole through here with my hole saw so that my power wire feed can come down, hook up to the battery. And what I'll do is, once I tear this all apart to paint and whatnot, I'll clean this hole up, but I'll also take some fuel line and split it and line the edge so that the wires don't get chafed or anything, just to protect them. But I think for this evening I'm going to shut her down and go do some other stuff. But yeah, I'm happy. I got a fair bit done. Got that wood in, strengthened it up substantially, got the hole drilled, got the things mounted up, and it's going to work good. Only other thing I got to figure out, but it's no big deal. I don't think I have it out here. Oh, maybe I do. Is I still have to do the receiver. This isn't the receiver I'm using, but I just thought of something. Because the receiver has to go into here, I'm going to need jumper leads. So that's something I didn't even think of, so I'll either have to make some up or place another order. Go figure. Wish I would have thought of that, but oh well, maybe I'll get to a hobby store in the city at some point. Or maybe I'll just go and place another Hobby King order with a few small little odds and ends, make it a cheap one, but get a few more items and go from there. The snow is melting outside, so it won't be too long. I'll be able to get out and play with some of the toys. In any case, that's it for this evening, so take care and talk to you later.